CSU faculty are working to help reduce textbook costs through a number of means and opportunities. I know many faculty try to recommend either a lower cost textbook, an older edition of a textbook, or refer students to the library to use the textbook resources here. But increasingly, I think faculty are taking advantage of the opportunity to develop their own open access resources, either in the form of working with the library or finding other open access resources online.
The Michael Schwartz Library offered us monetary support in the form of the small grants and an amazing team to help us create the textbook, which was very beneficial.
In 2018, students collectively saved $379,000 through the Textbook Affordability Grant.
CSU and the Michael Schwartz Library have stood out in supporting open education and affordability by being on target with open educational resources very early on. I'm proud of the fact that we have saved our students tens of thousands of dollars. I'm proud of the fact that the provost has been very supportive of the library's efforts. I'm proud of all of the faculty members who have taken a risk to try an open educational textbook, and I'm certainly proud of the students who have been supportive as well.
The Textbook Affordability Grant is open to all faculty. Anyone can apply, and the purpose of the grant is to lower costs for students. The grant's criteria are for faculty to create or adopt open educational resources to be used in their course to lower the overall cost for students.
I realized that students weren't bringing the textbooks to class. The traditional textbook that they were reading at the time was really difficult for them to comprehend. Chapters were like 30 pages. So I decided to create my own handbook for them. And from this handbook, I then realized in 2017 that there was the Michael Schwartz Textbook Affordability Small Grant. And so I applied for that and created an open access textbook. And one of the biggest things was students actually brought the text with them every single day. So a lot of times whenever you're using a traditional textbook, one that is printed and that students have to put in their backpack and then lug into the classroom, a lot of times students forget that textbook, or they forget to buy it at all in the beginning of the semester. So because this textbook was free and because they could access it on their phone, I could then integrate lessons into the classroom that allowed them to access it immediately. It allowed us to use it and talk about it. I could pull it up on the big board so everybody could see it. It really made talking about the content of our class and the content of this textbook a lot easier. The advice I would give to faculty who were looking to either use or adapt or create an open access textbook is to start in that order. I suggest that they start by just using an existing open access textbook or an existing open educational resource. After you get comfortable with knowing what's out there, then adapting an existing text is probably the next best step because it already exists, and then you can go in and sort of mess with it or remix it as you see fit to sort of fit your classroom. And then lastly would be creating a textbook. And if you do choose to do that, there's a lot of people out there that can help you. There's a lot of resources on the web that can help you, and you can also visit OhioLink and all of their different open access resources that they have there. And don't forget to excavate your own stuff. Like you probably have handouts or rubrics or PowerPoints that you can just take and put into your own textbook.
The English department felt that it was important to support Melanie and Emily in their open access rhetoric textbook for first year writing because it's a textbook that has tremendous impact upon student experience. Almost 2,000 students take it a year. So if we're going to help students save money, we thought this was a really important place to start. Administrators can help advance the process of open access adoption by providing time and resources for interested faculty to have the support to develop these. Open access might be free for students at the end of the process, but there's a lot of work and labor that goes into it. And if that time is rewarded and supported, then I think faculty will be able to advance this cause much more quickly.
From the Michael Schwartz Library, I received a small textbook affordability grant that allowed me to adopt the textbook and adapt my class to that particular material. So I had to rewrite quizzes and exams and sort of look for supplemental material. And in addition to that, one of the senior instructional designers Heather Capret helped me design open education resources for my students, and many of those resources were student created. So in addition to the open access textbook, now we have a site on the library's Pressbook site that has the textbook and resources such as short films that the students created, multiple choice questions, timelines, costume tutorials, all kinds of things that the students help create that each successive class can go to and look at, and those materials match up with the textbook. I would really encourage other faculty members to use open access textbooks because of the financial benefits for students and the benefits for student learning. I would advise them that it takes a lot of time, but the payoff is huge.
Another approach is that I search for affordable textbooks, viable one, interesting one, relative to the course, but less expensive. So that's the approach that I use, because I experienced it as a student that it is very, very difficult for our students to pay sometimes over $150, $160. One textbook written by someone, sometimes by the time it comes to your classroom, it is a couple of years old. But when you make your own required textbook, which is affordable, it's more meaningful, contextual, and our students will enjoy learning those materials.
When my professors make efforts to reduce the costs of textbooks, makes me feel like they care about my success as a student, because they seem to be very understanding of what it's like to be a broke college student.